What's up, guys? You already know what it is. We are back for another episode of the Laymans Project.
First time ever Vaughn actually spoke through the applause.
Yeah, I made sure to do that this time, just to show you how it's done, man.
Also, we have no guest to introduce, so that was the applause was just for us. You all may have noticed.
You might as well. We are in the comfy,
in Chateau
rustic
Jaliso.
abode of my guy.
Welcome to my
Flowaz.
humble abode.
So today we're going to get to know the Laymans a bit better,
That's us.
of course. As usual, Franz is going to ask the questions, and I'm just going to tag along for the ride, you know.
So the idea behind this is get to know your guests in between 3 and 5 questions. Let's see what we get through. And Vaughn has me drinking by myself tonight.
Yeah, we had a brutal session.
Murdered
today.
himself with legs.
Ah.
And now his blood pressure is low, and
Yeah,
all
well, I'm
lightheaded.
feeling a little woozy, man.
So cheers to El Dorado.
Yeah, man. I do have a
Cheers
drink
to-
I can cheers with you. I know you don't like to cheers
Cheers
with
to
non-alcoholic beverages, but I must say
It
that
goes
Eldorado,
it goes against tradition.
that Eldorado drink looks really good. I love
It is delicious.
I love a Eldorado. That color, the aroma.
Mm-hmm.
Shout outs to you, Eldorado, for not picking up
For
on
being my favorite
such
rum.
a terrific sponsorship opportunity.
Well, they might
Shots
know.
fired. Pew, pew, pew.
One of my favorite rums ever.
Yeah.
Favorite non-local rum, I believe. Anyway, so the first question, because Vaughn and I are both fitness enthusiasts and certified personal trainers, fitness trainers, strength coaches, yada, yada, yada.
Kind of gym. That is how elderly people refer to me. He's like kind of gym man.
Right, yes. Because we are both gym men, gym rats, as we are also known.
That's how, ironically, that's how my mother-in-law, I was just reflecting on that today. Like, if she's talking about me, she'd be like, yeah, my daughter's been that kind of gym man. I'll be like, yeah,
Thanks, Mom.
thanks.
Says a lot. I was liming on Superior Street the other day, and I walk in to get a drink, and the woman is like, "You just go gym and thing." I was like, "Yeah, and thing."
And among other things, yes, I do enjoy a little workout every now and
sure
then.
to take that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what got you into fitness?
I want to say
Pumping iron.
oh yeah, well it was all of us pumping iron. I can't remember when we watched pumping iron home by you, I think it was.
Yep.
And did we? I don't think we used to really work out seriously before. And we watched
We
pumping
used to
iron.
think we did.
Well, yeah,
And
fair
then-
point. We used to think we used to work out seriously before, but mostly disgusting calisthenic stuff, push-ups, blah, blah, blah. And then we watched Pumping Iron. It was me, you, Jose, I think Isan was.
It's just the three of us.
It was just the three of us.
I
It was
would
just the three of us. Yeah,
never
yeah,
forget
yeah, I
that
remember
day.
that.
It was just the three of us.
And then we finished watching Pumping Iron with Lou Ferrigno, Franco, Arnold, those guys. And
So
yeah.
Pumping Iron is a 1977 documentary. It came out in 77, but it documented the journey to the 1975 Mr. Olympia. So Arnold was the reigning defendant. Lou Ferrigno was supposedly this beast from the East coming to take his crown. And there were all the other golden era bodybuilders doing their workouts and whatnot. And it's a really interesting documentary anyway, but for gym
first
freaks,
time that had been done, I think.
probably,
I
yeah.
think, because
And
even-
first time it made it that big because Arnold was in it.
Yeah, because bodybuilding in general is still a niche. Not as much as back then, but it's like a niche type of sport. And it definitely got the three of us extremely pumped. I can't remember where we went to train after.
We went Cyborgs.
Cyborgs,
Trade Winds Hotel, yeah.
Whoa.
Because we were living
So
in St. Joseph Village at the
and
time.
we used to spend like endless
All the
time at Franz's house. So we walked
And
up the road.
walked to the gym, and it was the
On an
most
empty
serious and quiet gym set. There was no shit talking. There was no jibbing to music in between
Serious
sets.
times.
It was the most serious and intense workout the three of us had ever put on together.
And probably to this
Probably
day.
since. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I was still like, well, now I'll scroll on my phone.
Yeah, I listen to my music and whoever. It's like
that was the
real locked
best.
in.
So big up Pumping Iron.
Yeah,
Big
big
up
up Pumping Iron for
Arnold.
sure. That is what got both of us into fitness, and yeah, we mostly stuck with it. Like for years after that, years. I think Jose is the only person who kind of fell off fitness, which is ironic because he was the most serious of us all at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jose was serious. Like he was in like Form 5, 100 and 80 plus 90 pounds.
I don't know if he was that big in Form 5. He might have been 160.
Serious?
I think, Dread, I was like
Well,
one...
okay. I think I'm mixing it up because after like Serval, I mean not community college. He was really big.
Yeah, but that's like Form 6,
Yeah.
upper 6 time. But yeah, because Form 5, he might have been about 160, 170 max, because I was 130.
It really makes it's possible because he made a sizable.
And then when we were working quarter turn, he dipped his toe into pro hormones and substances.
Oh, God.
And he was like 250 dread.
Yeah,
Overnight. Just like
he
huge.
he actually and looking back
Big
on
up
it,
Quadzilla.
Quadzilla. I tried that and headache. Looking back on it, he was
I feel like Stuart nearly died.
Stuart tried that too.
Stuart tried it once, and then he did not go and work out, and his heart wanted to jump out his chest.
Yeah, I was getting like serious. I was getting high blood pressure on that, and like I tried to work through it, but it's like intense headaches. Like while you're working out, the pain of your headaches is by far overshadowing the pain of like whatever it is you decide to do.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, I mean, I could have a more in-depth conversation with you kids, offline about that. But generally,
don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Generally,
Yeah.
don't do Psalms.
Yeah. Let me just officially, these things aren't really researched properly. So you are putting yourself at like an unnecessary risk taking any of this stuff. Trend, steroids, this. Test itself is pretty well researched, but the problem is it just affects so many different people differently. So it's hard to predict the side effects that you as an individual will suffer. It's so many things you have to take into consideration, like your genetics, comorbidity, stuff like that.
And how much you taking?
And and the dosage. And then there's little intricacies. Like some people respond really, really well to gear. Like I was talking to somebody the other day, like Kevin Levrone, one of my favorite bodybuilders. I don't know another bodybuilder that responds that well to like being on cycle. You know what I mean? Because Kevin Levrone looks like a kind of gym man off season, and like pre-contest, I want to say like the 6 months leading up to a show, he leaves mankind, and he really doesn't look human, and you could, to this day, like top coaches would call like that kind of transformation. The top coaches call that pulling a Levrone. Like when you're trying to get athletes in shape, because I mean I still follow bodybuilding fairly closely. But to make like a drastic change in your body, for the better, of course. The top coaches will call that like, yeah, that guy really pulled a Levrone this year. And, but Levrone, big up you, He's been doing it. And that is what got us all into bodybuilding. Franz and myself are still very much into...
Still building the body.
Still building those bodies, sometimes our own and sometimes other people's.
Sometimes other people's, yeah.
Yeah, that's
life of a personal trainer.
That's how it goes. So that's about that. That's what got me.
Well, Pops is actually who got me into lifting weights and bodybuilding and thing when we lived in Palmies, before we moved to the village, he had an old iron weeder weight set. And
You all still had that whole
yeah,
thing,
it moved with us. And so he would train in the garage with a friend of his, and me and a couple partners from school. We were like 14, I think. Started training with him because, I mean, everybody want to be big like them men. And yeah, that's how it started. And then we moved to the village, and then we all met. And then we started training with the same weight set downstairs. And then I feel like then either Cyborgs had opened, or we finally had money to join a gym. And so we joined the gym, because before that, we didn't even have a rack. Men had a stand over here and hand you the
it was
the
it was
bar to bench
it
press
was
with.
dangerous. It was dangerous, guys.
Take it off for you.
Real Jones.
Yeah,
back
proper
then.
garage thing. You know, just to clean a man's squat weight and hand it to him, and then take it back off his shoulders so he don't drop it and bust up the garage tiles. Yeah, danger.
We narrowly escaped injury.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Every single session. Boy, tell me about your favorite book.
Well, shit, that's a lot. In terms of favorite, there's no way I can name a favorite book, but like most impactful book in terms of changing worldview, I think would have to be Shantaram. It's Shantaram. It's about Big So.
Sounds like an Indian book.
It's based a lot in India. So it's supposedly, and I say supposedly because if everything this man wrote in his book is true, he has led a phenomenal life. Supposedly true story of an Australian convict who escaped prison in Australia, absconded to India, eventually made his way to India, and then just lived this incredible life. He ended up in Bollywood movies and involved in gangsterism.
He wasn't laying low.
No, he really wasn't laying low. Interpol finally caught him.
Yeah,
because it's not like he
finally.
was a purse snatcher, you know. Like, I think he was wanted for assault, attempted murder, or something like that. Like, he was a fiend.
And he decided to stand
And
Bollywood
then
movies.
it ended up happening to him. And then, like, the book ends, and there's an afterword where he talks about he moved to Germany and he was in a rock band there, and then Interpol caught up with him and like, Brad, you've lived like 5 lifetimes. Anyway.
He never thought about just keeping a low profile. None of what he is.
No, it's a real good book. But that's why I say supposedly true story. Anyway, there's a part in the book, I don't remember exactly where, his moral compass is based around the idea of, well, what if everybody did this to everybody? And that's to me, an interesting way to think of right or wrong. So if stealing is morally
as a convicted criminal.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
But like if well, nothing wrong with stealing this, because this fella not gonna miss it. If he have $1 billion, I'll just steal 100,000 from him. But what if everybody stole from everybody, and then it'll be terrible. So if it's terrible, if everybody did it, then it's terrible if you do it individually. So if it's terrible as a collective, then it's terrible as an individual. And I've never heard or read morality framed that way. I mean, growing up in a Roman Catholic household, it's biblical and thing. By then, I'd started to lose my religion anyway. And so to have that moral compass sort of framed that way in that book, it really changed the way I viewed the world.
Yeah, that actually makes... You could apply that to literally
everything. Yeah, if you think about it. If everybody drove like an asshole, then the world would be a terrible place. So don't drive like an asshole. I mean, from the very small thing to the very big thing.
All right, that makes sense. I think my most impactful book would have been definitely The Count of Monte Cristo.
Mm-hmm. That's a favorite of mine too.
Yeah, I really, really... Like, that guy, he just... lived for vengeance. It kept him alive. He did incredible things, and I went through like 1 or 2 like rough patches in life, and I always went back to like people will ask me like, I think I had a talk with like a brethren not too long ago, and he was like, yeah, well, and he put a real religious spin on it, like, so these things just happen to test you, and you come on. And in my head, I'm like, I literally like hatred is what kept me, going. It woke me up. I don't think I would have survived if I didn't, just let myself get consumed with, this desire to get back at certain people. I mean, and you guys know who you are, so your time is running out.
Your days are numbered.
Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking.
Yeah. but yeah. That is like the most excellent way to, I think, to just come full circle. You know what I mean? Whatever, you fall down, you get back up, but also make sure that you get back. Like you get back up and get back. You know what I mean? I don't, and from small, I don't ever let bygones be bygones. I am not going to. I never would. Out of the question. You know what I mean? I will just find a way, play the long game, disappear. You know what I mean? It really keeps me focused. And I'm not saying that, I don't want to say that hatred is the most powerful force on earth, but I mean, it's up there for me.
I saw something that there's a lot of power in fuck you, yes. There's a lot of power in that. Or it was another I can achieve all things through spite, which strengthens me.
Yeah. I need that on a t-shirt or like a hat. I can achieve all things
through spite.
Through spite. That is my whole deal. And again, like I have an extremely good memory. So even though, it will never be all bad. So you go through rough patches and then some people will really shine. It's like, wow, back when like I had nothing and no one, and like there's no reason for you to get support or assistance from this person, that person, and they still did it. So that always resonates, and I just make sure and hold these people close. But like the rest of people, and I actually had the experience to be up and down, like not just down, so you start off down, you work your way up, you fall back down. So it's very different. Like, people call on your phone. Like when you call people, like, they answer, they call you back, and then things really change very drastically. And, you call people and you don't get a call back. Or it's like real little things. Like, you might just, probably didn't get a call, your message. And it's like, no response. It's cool. Count of Monte Cristo.
However,
So I just,
I will remember.
Yeah. No lie, I might live to be 1,000 years and I'm realistically speaking, I might never get back at everybody, but I'm going to make sure and try. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, this is...
It will not for be lack of...
Yeah, not for lack of
effort.
trying. Not for lack of trying. I'm going to make it a mission. Like it will always be on my mind. I could become the president of the world. I mean, and that would be bad news for a lot of people, but
That would be terrible.
It'll be on the agenda for sure. Just get that out of the way and, yeah. So, back to more wholesome...
Well, I was now going to say we're about to paint ourselves as entirely unreputable sociopaths now.
No, I mean, I guess in certain contexts.
Well, I mean, I could talk about my favorite revenge story. You ever read The Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe?
No.
It's a short story. My favorite revenge story. I almost lived that one out, but changed my mind.
I'm guessing I'm gonna have to read that book to.
No, it's a good story. So it starts off. It's one of my favorite opening lines ever. The thousand injuries of Fortunato I had sustained as well as I could, but when he ventured upon insult, I vowed revenge. And it's so he kind of smiles in this fellow's face, just plotting the whole time, because he's done him wrong how many times, and in the end he gets him back. Also, if you've never seen Fall of the House of Usher, you should definitely watch it.
Okay, cool.
Based on the writings of Edgar Allan Poe. But yeah, that is my favorite revenge story ever. And
Well, then I will definitely check that out because I swear I love, but just the Count of Monte Cristo specifically, I just really, because he was on top of the world and then like literally lost every single thing, incarcerated,
and, you know,
his woman.
he wasn't on top of the world, you know. He was enjoying life. He wasn't on top of the world. If you think back at it, he was like a ship's mate or whatever. He wasn't even first mate. He was just enjoying his life. And then he got promoted over the brethren to captain or
And
to
the-
first
that's the
mate or
guy-
something.
Okay.
And that's why the fella started plotting for him, because he wanted his woman and he wanted his job. And the brethren, whose name I forget, his issue was, I have so much more than you. Why are you happier than me? And that's why he wanted to lay him low.
The only
And
person's name I can remember from that book was Danglars.
Danglars is the
Danglars.
bastard brethren.
He
was another mate who schemed against him.
A lot of people, again, what I love about that book is so many people like did he I think the first time he bounced up an actual ally was in jail. Everybody was just like in some
Well,
way.
he had the ship's captain
right,
liked him,
right.
and
Yeah.
his girlfriend / fiance.
But she left him.
She didn't leave him. He was in prison, and then he had gotten her pregnant before he went away, and that's why she went with the best friend, so that she could pass the child off as the best friend, and the child would have a good life, a life of luxury.
I still felt
No, he was
betrayed.
toting for that.
Yeah, I still
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But he was not on top of the world. He just enjoyed what he had. And that was the friend's issue. It's like, I have so much more than you. Why are you happier than me? Nah,
I
I'm not
mean,
having
yeah,
this.
yeah, and you're actually he wasn't on top of the world, but like he was really comfortable. Everything was going right.
Because he enjoyed his life. Despite not having everything, he was just happy. He was a happy guy. So it's interesting that you think he was on top of the world. He wasn't.
Huh. I mean, I guess.
Epiphanies being had. It's a really good book, Count of Monte
Yeah,
Cristo.
yeah,
It's
Count of
also
Monte
a good
Cristo.
movie. Jim Caviezel did it justice.
I never
Check
watched
it
it.
out.
I never watched the movie, but
Really?
I
It's
never
pretty-
watched the movie,
it's
but yeah.
faithful. It's faithful enough. Like this, him getting out of Chateau d'If
Chateau d'If. Oh yeah.
was not a faithful account, but everything else was faithful enough. So read the book, check out the movie.
So
it's
he
fantastic.
didn't drown himself in the movie.
Sort of. Not the way it played out in the book. The book is better. for that.
Yeah, because
The book is usually better.
I was like, I no lie. At that age, I was like on the edge of my bed reading this book. Like I want like.
Nah,
Anyway, I'm not even gonna
such
say
a
it, but
good
like my
read.
paws are.
Also, the cast cover Amontillado, and Vaughn's paws are obviously racing now.
Yeah.
But the cast cover Amontillado is one of my favorite Edgar Allan Poe books, and also one of my favorite revenge stories ever. And to button up the issue of revenge, the Count called it off at the end because he did not want to kill the friend. And the protagonist or is he the antagonist because he tries to kill this guy? He does kill the guy. He immediately regrets it and like he sort of goes mad. So maybe don't revenge. But
I'm not the
definitely
Count
remember the
though.
name. No, I'm not the Amontillado guy.
I'm gonna follow through. I want you to feel sick. So nothing is gonna stop that until I turn cold. You know.
I don't have any Amontillado, but I do have some Eldorado that I'm going to continue drinking.
Sweet. So that is real T-Fed. What the fuck?
I love this ice bucket. It's my favorite ice bucket. I do have Eldorado though.
I feel like I definitely wasn't paying enough attention. I mean, why would I? Because you are enough of an alcohol lover to own
A giant bottle, a mega of Eldorado.
Yeah, I really wasn't paying attention. That's why I got.
I
That's
like
why I
it.
got.
I
This
like
is
that
cool.
you said alcohol lover, not alcoholic.
No, because
But
you're not an
I'm
alcoholic.
definitely
You're
am.
way far away from an
I'm an
alcoholic.
actual alcoholic, like an actual. Yeah, I'm not.
Nah.
I'm not a drunk, but I'm definitely an alcoholic.
Nah, I think we need to. I think we need to visit the definition. You're not an alcoholic, Franz.
I feel
Like
like I am.
you. I would say you socially drink often.
Yeah, that's because Trinidadian culture is basically alcoholism. But yeah, like normal people don't drink like the way West Indians drink.
I mean, I can think about quite a few people that drink. You know, Irish people.
Yeah, well, we're all descendants of those
That's just the-
particular
that's the-
colonials.
Maybe
anyway.
maybe you are.
You know what I mean? Like the culture.
I'm 100% not.
You know what I mean? The culture. Damn it.
All right, so no more revenge.
Proudest physical achievement. So we're both fathers. Yes, we understand having a child and getting married, all of that. Proudest physical achievement that you've done for yourself.
I'm very proud of maintaining my physique even at this age. But I think proudest physical achievement, my first ever attempt at bodybuilding, I did pretty well. I placed like second overall, and I won.
You won your class.
all my classes because I did my first show. So it was like I was an amateur class, so I was allowed to participate in that. Amateur is kind of like an open class, so whatever weight. And then my specific weight for that show would have been light heavy because I was 188 on stage, and I think I can't remember exactly, but somewhere above 190 would have been heavyweight. And while I was training, I just didn't feel like I wanted to be a small heavyweight, so I just like, did that kind of hustle. I didn't know anything about cutting, bulking, carbo loading. I looking back on it, like I overloaded because I was a little puffy on stage, but it wasn't like a serious. My very, very first show. And I still think I look pretty good. Yeah. The judges thought so as well.
Well, you won your class, so
Yeah.
No, I was there. It was a big deal when Vaughn
Yeah.
entered his first show because coming up as he was talking about pumping iron and all that, he, Jose, and I all wanted to compete. And I injured my back whenever it was very early 2000s.
I injured my back right after that.
Good times. But I couldn't squat, couldn't deadlift, couldn't bend over row. So I was like, right, bye bodybuilding dreams.
Yeah.
Jose just didn't like to train legs. So bye. But and back in them days, they did not have physique competitions. They didn't have fitness and things.
Yeah, they didn't have
So
men physique.
You
They
couldn't
didn't
jump
have,
up in a board shorts,
They didn't have classic.
which he still couldn't compete in classic.
Classic is the kind of pantsy trunks.
Yeah, I know. But you still need some
Yeah, you
some
still need
bitter legs for
legs
that.
for that.
And yeah, Jose just didn't like to train legs, so he never got up on stage. But his upper body would have won classes.
Yeah.
So Vaughn was the only one to jump up on stage, so he had to be there. And yeah, you look sharp.
Yeah, thanks, man. And it was extremely nerve-wracking at first, but I mean, honestly, when you hear the crowd, you hear Franz, Jose, and everybody, so I really got into it and 100% enjoyed it. I would advise anybody into fitness to at least try and enter, just enter a show. Just train obviously train towards entering a show and
Obviously.
and do it.
Because there was a guy on the stage that had no business being there. Like, absolutely no business. And doesn't even being disrespectful. Like, he had no business being on the stage. He went up. He had the confidence. He did not take on the jeers, which he should not have gotten because it takes a lot to get up on the stage. But he should not have. He should have sat that one out.
Yeah, he definitely should have. Fair is fair. He definitely should have prepared.
A lot better.
Yeah, definitely should have prepared a lot better. And I feel like his perception of what the show would have been was way, 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 way off because him and I train at the same gym. So
Yes.
you you could have had an idea what I look like. I mean, and that's how I kind of went about my training. So while I was training, there'd be little talk, and that is how training for a show is. It's actually fantastic. And you'd be like, yeah, well, this guy he's training too. Like, yeah, you hear Franz entering, or so now you are paying attention to Franz. You're trying to, get a glimpse of Franz's training or his physique or whatever, so you know what you. I mean, I did that, so you know what you're into.
That's what you should do. You
And
gotta gauge your competition.
yeah,
And this was the days long before social media and things. So
Yeah,
like
I
you
do
couldn't peep anybody's Instagram page or anything. You had to
you have to do the work.
go to the gym that they were training at to see them. And if you happen to be training at the same gym, then bully for you because you gotta.
You gotta catch the time and thing too.
Yeah.
Because that's how people would. Yeah, he just
research
train
could be
around.
done.
He would train around this time or whatever. So it's like for real, all right, cool, and you just so you just train in the corner, like
Like, wait, boy, I need to work on my lats, yes?
yeah,
Pull downs today.
literally, and guys like Joel Baldio saying,
Who is now a pro,
he's
I
a
think.
pro.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's a pro.
Yeah, big up Joel.
Yeah,
Joel
big up
is
Joel.
Joel is still looking phenomenal.
Yeah,
and only
yeah.
getting better.
He really helped me prepare for that show. Back then, he was the national lightweight champ. Back then, like he's in this a while now.
Yeah, this is going on 20 years.
He's a seasoned.
Yeah.
Like-
and like I say, he keeps getting better still.
So Joel, another guy named Wazim. I know he's still training.
Still training men to compete.
I
men
think
and
he had
women.
men and women, but I think he has a female athlete that he trained, and she recently turned pro. I think he took her to. I mean, I don't wanna misquote anything, or incorrectly state something, but I think I do believe that she's a pro. So
Well,
yeah,
big up Wazam too, because he in this thing long time.
really long, and he
quality
was
training.
instrumental with my prep. He helped me compose my routine, like for posing. He helped me out a lot with that. Joel was like my coach basically, and yeah, like a few other people, but I really can't remember the names. But Joel and Wazam were, really. Those are my guys, man. Couldn't have done it without them. And at the time, my training partner was a guy named Kenton Jalsa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name properly, but yeah, he was. You have training partners, and like 1 or 2 days. And you know the type, like you're gonna do legs and I'm not sure, I'm running a little late.
The moon too full tonight, boy.
Yeah.
Not training legs tonight, no?
Yeah. If I feel like kind of
Jose.
he used to dress. Yeah. Jose never did he ever train legs? Have you ever trained legs
I
with
don't
Jose?
think so. No, not specifically. No.
Yeah,
no, I've
even-
never trained legs with Jose.
Even home, like me and Jose used to train like home by me in the gallery or whatever, and he kept me back from training. Like he's like, you don't wanna do some legs, like. Nah,
Nah,
well,
boy, I just want to watch Dragon Ball Z tonight. You don't want to watch Dragon Ball Z tonight?
Jose was
Sweat some Tekken.
Jose was convinced that human beings could transform.
Because of Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, he was convinced that human beings.
Jose was convinced of a lot of weird shit.
Yeah, boy. Whoa.
Honestly.
And
We need to get Jose on the show, yes?
yeah, boy, that is
It'll
going
be a disaster,
to be
but
lit up.
it'll be great.
A great disaster.
It'll be a beautiful disaster. They got 311.
Yeah, big band. Right. So that's that. Can't even remember how we got into greatest
Physical accomplishments.
And I know you did a lot of hardcore stuff. I don't
Well,
know.
hardcore was fun. But I would have to say tied for first place is finishing Fusion and getting my second degree black belt.
Oh, yeah, facts.
because fusion up to that point was the hardest physical thing I'd ever done. And it was, I don't think they still have proper fusion anymore. They have fusion light, which is it's a team hashing event, and it's all day long. So it's a 4-person team, and in the year I did it, it was a 17-kilometer run through Manzanilla. And I mean like through Manzanilla. They found the one mountain on the southeast coast and made us run up it and through all the bush. And then it was, where did we go after that? We went up to Matura. I think that was 15 kilometers in Matura along in the river. And then you drive to the savannah and it's a 5-kilometer dash.
At least there's some driving in there.
No, well, you had to drive from Manzanilla to Matura because you're talking southeast coast and north coast. And then you drive to Port of Spain and it's a 5-kilometer dash because these men sprint this, so it starts 3 o'clock in the morning. The savannah leg is 6 o'clock in the evening. And these men sprint this. These monsters like Ryan Menz, big up yourself. He and his team won it 3 or 4 years in a row. He and his team.
So what the hell does Menz do? Like,
Andred, he is so deceitfully slight, like in frame, and he's an absolute stamina monster. He and his teams.
Realistically,
he does mountain biking and
I don't even know why people feel as though like big, strong, like fit-looking people could
do anything.
Get that out of your head. Yeah, you can just pick everything up and put them back down because the demands on your respiratory system, your cardiovascular system, like it's your central nervous system. It's actually immense.
Your mind.
Yeah, you just collapse. You have to have like an it had to be like bad mind or just like pain tolerance because
So it's as you mentioned, bad mind. So by the time, the team was Lando Mitchell, whose brother we had on here
the last episode, right?
Myself, Nico, my brother Nico,
right.
My partner Anderson Mitchell, no relation to Lando.
As a capoeira dude.
Yes.
And salsa guy,
yeah. Big up Panda.
Big up you. He's Panda.
He's Panda.
I mean, I know another Panda.
Well, he's a Panda.
Okay, well, he's a Panda.
He's a Panda. And so Lando and I had done it the year before, and we did not complete it. We did it with Tanika Heinix and Jono Marshall. Big up yourself. And we did not complete it. We've completed the first stage, and then about quarter way through the second stage, which started on El Takush, we had to turn back because.
Was it Jono? That's Booze Jono.
No, not different Jono.
Oh, because Stuart really makes me feel as though everything is Booze's fault.
No, that's Jonathan Booze. Fuck you, Booze.
It's just a family,
yeah, no, it's just I just said that for Stuart.
Sweet.
Love you, Booze. Nah, Booze is a
dick. Soldier.
Yeah, that's
Stuart.
He's Stuart and Booze co-promoting a show on the 9th. So I mean, they're brothers. But no, and that's John Marshall. Booze's his last name is Booze. Yeah.
Booze like alcohol.
Like BOOS, like boo.
Oh, like the plural of scaring someone.
Or just booing them.
Yeah, okay.
So, big up Booze.
Why do I always think about scary stuff?
I don't know. Dementia. Demented mind. We had attempted the year before and we had to turn back because of injury. And that was real bitter. So we went back the year after. Tanika did not come with us because she nearly fell off the mountain the year before that.
That's a very solid reason.
Yeah. She was hanging off of the safety line like a piece of clothing dread. And she nearly went down the northern range.
Tanika, nobody's mad at you.
So
that makes sense.
But she came back as our driver.
That makes sense.
So she was still.
Makes a lot of sense.
She was still helpful.
Tanika's kind of a sharper
tool than I am, because I went back. Anyway, and so we attempted the second year, and Nico sat out the second leg, because he was absolutely exhausted, and he had what is called that when you thing on your inner thighs from running, chafe, really bad chafe.
I was biting. I was biting. I was biting my tongue so hard. I thought it was one of those bro jokes. Now it's like that thing when you're in the ties where you have like a pussy. I almost said it, and I was like, you know what? I don't know who the hell is going to watch this episode. Like, my son watches these episodes sometimes. So
I make sure to tell Eli which episode not to watch. Like, you cannot watch the episode with Uncle Stuart. You cannot watch.
There are some episodes that he would pull up, and I'd be like, "Hey, let's watch some Yu-Gi-Oh,
let's watch
man.
Blues Clues or something." Yeah. Let's not take in this one. But no, so Nico had really bad chafe, and he was absolutely exhausted because he did no training for it at all. Not unlike me. I also did very little training. So when it came time for the Savannah run, my guy is running around the Savannah with us and like dancing from leg to leg while applying Vaseline to his chafe. Just bad mind was driving his team at this point. Like, I was so exhausted. When we crossed the finish line, I like got the team into a huddle, and all I could say was fellas. And then I couldn't speak. Like, I was so tired and then just thrilled that we had finished this thing because it's all day we were going.
That chafe thing, it feel like fire.
No, it's fire. It's terrible. I don't know how he did it. Well, I do know, bad mind. Nico, real bad mind. Like, he is one of the most competitive people I've ever met.
That is my dude, because I also went on a little kind of hike where bad mind literally propelled me through that whole ordeal, because I was invited to go on a hike to like a mud volcano down Mount Diablo. Actually, it was actually like a really nice, light hike. But the only thing that until those guys saw me, because I pull up, I was invited by a friend, and he has family that's like police and fire services and in the defense force and whatever. So like I pull up where we were supposed to meet, and like the way they described it is like a nice, cool, we're gonna ride ATVs and things. So I was like, all right, cool. So I pull up. I don't even think I ate breakfast. I think I bill a spliff, and I just sit on there waiting to start this hike. So they across the road watching me, and I just breathing, relaxing, waiting for it to start. And then it was like a long drive to start off with. We got to the beach, ride around a little bit on ATVs, and then like we have to cut up through this. No, I lie. We had to jump. We had to take a boat to another area of it was actually a real cool hike, and another area of the coast. Hop off on the beach, and then we start hiking, and like obviously these people watching my physique, and it's like, yeah, right, strong man, you gonna run he into the ground.
Strong man, boy.
And
he's good gym man thing.
I can't. He's kind of strong. He's kind of gym man.
That gym man.
So they pushing us. Like I'm looking at the pace they keep, and I'm like, this can't be like what y'all consider like they are pressing, and I am dying. If it wasn't for bad mind, I would have, like, my chest was feeling like it wanted to bust. And like, remember people checking up, like, yeah, everybody good, and looking back, and I was just keeping like a safe distance, like within earshot basically. I'm not trying to be in the front. I didn't want to be last because I had people behind me too. And every time they look back, it's like, everybody good there and things. So I was just like, and these are the moments where I could have actually died there, because I'm holding my breath, because when they're not looking, so like I'm running, the people behind me can't see what's going on. So I and I couldn't get enough oxygen in my lungs. And when they turn around now, so it's like, it's like, yeah, and my heart is beating.
Yeah, we good.
Bro, my heart is beating
faster
through my chest. And I made it up to the mud volcano, and obviously I had to so I just went like
Let's
off.
do some push-ups one time.
I just went off to the side, take off my. No, I vomit. You're crazy, because like everybody's eyes on me. I had gills and all kind of thing there, so I take off.
Better we dead, yes.
Bro. Better. I dead, dog.
Dead.
I'm not going through that, Franz. Gills. girls around. So I went one side, like far away, take off my shoes, and like nobody cared. They didn't even think about like what they thought I was probably like sightseeing because I made it look like I was, This time I need an ambulance to pull up with oxygen. I need it. I don't want it. I need it. And I made it through. My my respiration normalized, cool, and jump in the mud pool or whatever. Get my little treatment. So I'm feeling good. And then it had like a beach. No, we had to go back down to the beach, which was not nearly as hard as going up because it's up. So we went down, reached down to the beach. And then, like, I don't know, they find like I was still alive. So they was like, hey, so all I want to do some push-ups. So I was like, I'm going to fuck you all up now. Right now. This is my...
It's my time now.
I am actually really good at push. I'll be home and I'll just do push-ups. I like doing push-ups. But of course, I just playing dead because, that count of Monte Cristo, I'm like, all right, I catch all they here now, fucker. And so they're like, yeah, they want to do some push-ups or something. So I was like, yeah, push-ups. I mean, all right, how much?
I guess.
I guess.
Go for 500?
Literally. I was like, well, I guess. Like, how much? No, y'all call it. I know there's no way they can call an amount of push-ups that they could do that I can't do.
Right.
It's not going to happen. Like, police, fire services, you're doing train like I train. I can officially say that. Y'all can challenge me anytime you want.
Please, somebody comment and say challenge accepted.
Not the running. Obviously, not the running. I mean, I could probably still bad mind it out there. But, so anyway. So, like, yeah, we do some push-ups and things. So I was like, all right, cool thing. They call it. It's like, yeah, what we do? We do like 200 push-ups. So we was 200, who reached 200 push-ups first, win. It's like, all right, cool. And like on average, I'll do like 70 push-ups at a time, right? So we start, it's like, right, first set, and they're doing like 40 push-ups in a set, right? So 40 push-ups, I'm not even starting to breathe heavy as yet. So I do my push-ups, I'm watching them. I'm doing my push-ups and watching them. Like we start, and they watching me still going after they stop, and they're like, all right, cool, all right, what's going on here? Second set, I did like another, I really wanted to do another 70, and they took a while to catch back themselves. So that gave me enough time to,
just run.
Yeah. So I did another 70, and then the last one, 60, boom. Easy does it. And I sit on the beach there, and they're like, how much you reach so fast, strong man? I said, well, I done. It's 200 push-ups we have to do. So check me now. I say, the tide coming in and all too, and if I do finish them push-ups, we'll fucking drown here on this beach, bro. so they're vexed. And yeah, bad mind again. Nico, bounce. Big up Nico, big up bad mind. I get the chafing thing and all too. Like I telling you, I feel like ants.
No, it's a terrible
just
feeling.
Like biting you in a thigh.
I mean, I can't say I know exactly what it's like because my thigh is not that big, but at least I work legs more than Jose. Like Jose definitely don't know what chafe feels like. Like ever.
Who's the legs will start to freeze.
Like yeah. Don't even know what the other one feels
when like. When he running, like the amount of breeze he's supposed to be getting, like chills.
But he don't know what chafe is like. But then my grading for my second degree, that. So I graded to second degree under Master Hutton from Scotland, who is one of my favorite people on earth, and I saw a different side of this man for that grading. And so we did he has this system called Marshall Fit. We did like a full 45 minutes an hour Marshall Fit workout. And like me, so it's myself and Samuel, who we also had on. Big up Samuel.
Big up you, Negrin.
Grading to second degree. And Paul Waite, who is my instructor, big up Wolverine Taekwondo, grading to fourth. So we all grading together. And so at some point, Paul and I watching each other across because we were partnered up for whatever thing
I have no idea what grading entails. So.
No, we were just training at this point. We just sweating. So for whatever drill it was, we were partnered up and we were looking at each other like, this had to be part of the grading, right? Because I bun.
This
Like
is
we
pretty,
can't
it's
be
pretty rough.
grading after this. And then he's like, right, you all get some water. We exam time gonna start. We're like, what is he saying? And then we started the full grading. So it's patterns, and so karate men would call that kata. So patterns and then sparring, but he didn't want to do sparring. He wanted to do fighting, like combat, and then board breaking. I feel like that was all that was entailed in it. And then there's like step sparring, which is somebody's gonna step into you with a specific attack, and you just had to come up with defenses, taekwondo-based defenses. Running patterns exhausted when you have like 10 patterns in your head and they call a specific one. All patterns is just start to flow into each other. So that was difficult in itself. The combat part was a lot of fun because, like I mentioned on Samuel's own, I'm pretty sure he concussed me with an elbow to the temple. And then Rajesh, as I also mentioned on Samuel's episode, put his fist through my liver. And that, I was done after that. Like, you ever get cuff in your liver? We were talking about like the sparring we used to do in the backyard and then...
No, I got a lot of headshots. Remember, I was short, so
right.
it's like kind of hard to
and
miss.
Your forms and thing. But no, like a liver shot is the most uniquely painful sensation. And yeah, Rajesh got all of it, it felt like. Anyway, that fooled me up. And then after that, we still had to do board breaking. And I remember stopping for a moment and going by the door just to...
Vomit.
Just looking casual now, like we were also in an oven. Like, whatever shed it was we were in Central, it felt like an oven. So I just went and casually leaned up on the door frame, just taking some fresh air, and just tears just rolling down my face. Like, I don't know how much more of this I could take. I am ready to just stop. I swear to God, if he says, right, next thing, I will just walk home or something. Just leave my belt hanging on the door.
All right, go ahead, Ole, go ahead.
Walk home.
Keep your belt.
I had enough time to catch my breath and grab my soul back into my body. And like, all right, well, I guess we're breaking boards now then. At least the board's not going to hit my back. Like, all right, here we go.
Whoa.
And now, Jed, emotional. I don't know about, I guess maybe physically, but like emotionally, finishing that grading.
I was like, you know what, guys? Go ahead. Just keep the belt.
Yeah, just.
I'll check on the back for the belt.
I don't need this belt in my life, boy. Nah, boy. And afterwards, we sit down like chief instructor called Daniel the next day to find out if I was all right. Because when it was done and I could sit down, I just like sat on the side of the wall. Just this time, like I wasn't crying this time, but like my hands was just in my face in my hands like this, like it done.
I'm never coming back here, guys. So take all your pics now.
So that. Oh boy! In fact, I feel like I'll put that over Fusion. Yes, I don't think I actually cried for Fusion. So second degree.
Yeah, because you're making me feel it. So I think that I feel like that was
second degree grading was
Yeah,
that was
I you know what I mean, vicariously was present in this grading.
Soul was leaving my body, but it was escaping.
Yeah, so that is it.
Big up, Master Hutton. I love you. Hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, because we all know what a glutton for punishment you are.
Yeah. Hoping to see him soon.
Overcoming your greatest hurdle.
Probably COVID and all the mental and emotional fallout that I'm still dealing with from being locked down for however bloody long that ended up being. And so we had Cardo and Aaron on last episode. Time is
not real.
And I was talking about how they gave me the platform to talk on their thing about mental health. And the first time I was on their show was to talk about a suicide attempt that came during COVID. And as much as I dealt with suicidal ideation, I mean, since like teenagehood and depression and rage and all these issues that I just kind of figured were normal. Turns out they're not. Yeah, all that hit critical mass during COVID because I had no outlets. I had no gym to go to,
Yeah, just
no
kinda
dojo to
cooped
go
up.
to, no bar to go and sit down in. Couldn't even go across by our brethren. Couldn't go across by your family. Couldn't have anybody over. And
Whoa.
yeah, I friggin' snapped, and I had a major breakdown during that. Because on top of that, I had to try to keep Eli occupied. He was 3 going on 4. And like, I'm not a patient man, or I wasn't. I feel like I've developed some since then. But like trying to teach a toddler anything it takes a lot of patience. So he and I were at each other's throats. I remember telling him, because it was supposed to be 2 weeks. Like, remember COVID was supposed to be a 2-week lockdown? Like 3 days into it, he and I had this big explosion, and I was like, "You're gonna get to know me real well over these next 2 weeks, fella." Because I was never home because the hours that I worked, personal training and managing cyborgs and things. And it's like, "You gonna get to know me real well, eh?" And he did. And the only good thing that has come out of COVID is his and my relationship, because we got to know each other really well. And
It sounded like it was going to be a bad thing, but
no, it turned out to be a really good thing. Like, he and I are real good now, and it's only because I had to spend that much time with him at the time. And yeah, so I had a major breakdown and started going to therapy. Therapy is going fine, but therapy is a really long-term solution.
process, yes.
And it didn't work fast enough. And so I had my moment of crisis, is what I called it. Tried to kill myself. And then, I mean, that in itself, recovering from that is a real trip, because thinking about dying for half my life is one thing. Like, trying to die is something else. And so I somewhat recovered from that. But everything that was difficult to deal with before, depression, rage, I developed severe anxiety over COVID as well. Like, I never considered myself an anxious person, but like, too many noises I would start to like rock, like friggin' Mankind in those
Whoa.
WWE promos, like rock like this and like, "Please stop talking, please stop talking, please stop talking." Like, I dread out of my mind with anxiety. So, and I still have really bad anxiety now as a result of COVID. Nothing I'd dealt with before. The mental fallout and emotional fallout from COVID is a burden I'm still overcoming, because there was a second suicide attempt after that, very early on this year, actually. And it's what people would call a sincere attempt, because the first one, and trigger warning and all that, we'll put out all that in the beginning. The first one, I tried to use a knife, and my hand wouldn't move. So, I mean, people could say that it wasn't an attempt, but I intended for it to be, The second time, it was a 3-part process. And I'm laughing because it's funny now.
you kind of suck at that. I mean, if you think
So
about
wait
it.
now. Yes, I sucked at it. So the second time I completely broke. I tried to use a knife again, and this time the blade wasn't sharp enough, because I got it done now. Like, my hand moved this time, and the blade wasn't. Vaughn doesn't know any of this, by the way, so I kind of dropping some hot shit on him. I tried that time, and the blade just wasn't sharp enough, because the original blade had obviously been taken away. And then if that hadn't worked, I had a second situation set up.
Yeah, because you buzzed the first time, so you're like,
Yeah,
putting
a
things in place.
plan
No.
fit. No, Hannah, planning of a suicide is
Bro, that must be like wild,
it's
because
a nefarious process. Like, you plan this shit. Like, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna try this instead. And I don't want to go into too much detail because of where it was, and I don't want to implicate the place, but I could not access the spot because of something that was going on at the time. I couldn't access the spot to go hang myself because there was a plan. That's the other thing. Like, maybe it's an OCD thing, but I had this particular spot in mind and I couldn't access it. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, what to do now, boy? Because I ain't going through this. Like, I am not ending today by waking up tomorrow. And so it's like, all right, well, I'll go home and I have all these pills I could take at home. And I have like a whole cocktail of shit. And there's no way this is not going to work. And so I went home and overdosed on pills. Like that's why they would call it a sincere attempt, because I took it.
Hey, there's quite a few you had contingencies and everything in place.
Yeah. So 3 times in the same day I attempted. And the 3rd time, hey, here we are.
Yeah,
Still didn't work.
bust again.
Bust again, Tread. Just bad maths.
Ooh, luckily for you guys, you know. Because
unlike this might be a difficult section of the episode to get through. So I'm still, like, that was earlier this year. So, like, ebbs and flows of depression, anxiety. I mean, I've had rage problems as long as you've known me.
Yeah.
Or longer.
I literally just thought you didn't not me personally, like any of us. I used to be like, what does Franz? I used to talk to who say like, what is Franz deal?
No,
like,
you know what? I wanna segue a little bit, because a comment you made when we were leaving Pier 1 at night. This is very early 2000s. So this might be 2001, because I was back from Michigan. Or maybe it was 2000. We were leaving Pier 1, me, you, and Jose. And I think Maurice was there. Don't remember.
I think the only time I went Pier 1 was with Maurice. I think I went Pier 1 once, and Maurice was
right.
Yeah.
So me, you, Maurice, and Jose. And you were saying when we left, because I had linked, a friend of mine was working security at Pier 1. And I had gotten us through the line. Because back in the days, Pier 1 line was 4 people across and around the friggin' building. And I would just pull up and like, yo, Smokey, you there? All right, yeah, we outside.
Yeah, Franz was the link.
And we would push inside. And leaving, Vaughn was like, way boy, Franz. Foreign really changed you, boy, because I feel like the old Franz would have never linked this scene or something. And I'm like, but this is a good friend of mine. Why does he think this of me? Am I really
That's
so
what you
bad?
thought? Jesus Christ, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
like, why would this good friend of mine think I'm such
like,
a
if we ever get Jose,
friggin' demon?
If we ever get Jose on this show, you can literally like I would go home and be like what's Franz deal? You know what I mean? He'd be good. You literally used to be just good with Jose and Maurice alone. So I was thinking like maybe it's because like I honestly thought it's because like they was big and could fight. Or whatever. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, I will, I'll work out and I'll be able to, contribute. Because like we all used to fight a lot in like clubs and used to pick quite a few fights back then.
I don't remember picking any fights, but no. So
I mean, but we were in the group of fight pickers.
Yes, we were in the group of fight pickers. But no, so you said that like I would have get vexed if like for asking. And like, but it's like
no, I was literally amazed because I think for that trip and all, like I was because Jose was like, yeah, let me go, and I was like, nah,
there's
dog,
no way.
Franz gonna fuck me up, but I literally was like, no, but I cool. I literally was like, nah, cool. I would just stay on my like because if usually in a situation like that, I would be just everybody would go online and I would like be by myself, It's like now, only go ahead and big up all this stuff. I would just do nothing. It's like, no, boy, come now, boy, Franz. I'm like, no, Franz is going to fuck me up.
So 24 years later, I could say to your face, that got me into anger management.
For real?
Yeah. Like
Dope.
That comment that you made, I was like, nah, I cannot keep being this person. That friends of mine
it's
frightened to ask me for things.
It's really weird. That's like a long time thing because now Franz is like my dude, No idea why, because somehow I feel as though like Franz is still the same, kind of Billy Goat gruff, but just like he's just a little more vocal, like
less gruff.
Talking to Franz was impossible back then. It's like you pull the tune, it's like, hey Franz, what's up? And he'd be like, fuck. He didn't used to say it, but it used to be like, fuck.
Just my face just used to say,
Damn it!
fuck.
No, but his face still does that to this day. But I know it's not at me. You know, it's real weird. Like I would see it and be like, "Whew, I'm so glad I'm not that guy that's getting this fuck." You know.
But yeah, so Vaughn was the first person to get me into any form of therapy, starting with anger management.
Hey,
Wow.
yeah. Well, that's like I want to say like a decade plus in the making. Without even actually, doing. I used to just actively avoid friends. Stuart was like real cool, but unfortunately, Stuart was extremely weird, and all his friends were really weird.
All his friends were weird.
All his friends were really
Stuart
weird.
wasn't actually that weird, But
Stuart
he
was
just used to line with some weird guys.
Yeah, but Stuart wasn't actually weird because with all of his friends, it's like
He was
cool.
fairly normal.
Like me and Stuart literally used to be like, "Hey, Vaughn, you should hear this song," and like vibes. And then she would be like, "Hey," he would invite you, like, "Yeah, let me go and," and I would be in the line and I'd be like, I feel like Stuart forgets I'm black, because this is not my vibe.
It's not even a black thing. They're just weird, boy.
But back then I used to like feel it now.
Yeah, I
I
guess,
used to really.
but nah, they're weird. They
Yeah,
were weird.
Yeah,
At least one of them is still weird, and we don't line with him anymore. Like, he just not around.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whoever you are,
Yeah, nah, you know who he is, I just not even gonna bring up his name, not even his
I
nickname.
feel like
nothing. You know exactly who he is.
Yeah, I feel like I know
But
for
I don't
sure.
even want to just give him that kind of airtime.
Sweet.
Even, yeah. We don't even really talk about him anymore.
Yeah, he who shall not be mentioned.
Yeah, for good reason. But yeah, so biggest hurdle to overcome.
Yeah, it would definitely be COVID as well.
Well, we could just take a moment to say fuck COVID.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
like, let's not ever do that again. Like,
Yeah, that was
governments of the
real.
world, let's just let people dead, because
I was
like
I probably posted one or two things to that effect because like I was real struggling during COVID because most of my skill set has to do with like food and beverage
and fitness. And
fitness.
everything was locked down.
And like it's like COVID was happening, and I personally felt like I was like slipping off a ledge until I ended up being, I want to say like unemployed for, I want to say like close to a year or something.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
unemployed or underemployed for at least a year.
Yeah, and I didn't have any I want to say like sincere suicide attempts, but I definitely like completely like lost the will to live, and my son was like 3 or 4. How old is Eli?
Yeah, Eli is 8 now.
Yeah, so my son was 3.
Son,
My son was 3.
Around the same time.
And well, I mean, he well, my experience was a little different because my son kind of like, I want to say, I don't want to be dramatic and say my son saved my life, but like with me now, just fatherhood hit me different because I didn't grow up knowing my father, so it was really it was a nice experience at first, being a dad, and then COVID came and it's like I really couldn't be a dad. Especially not like the dad I was like working so hard to like piece together because
the breadwinner dad.
Yeah. And I was like looking. I grew up looking at everybody else's relationships. So I was like, well, I guess that makes sense because these are things that I like about Franz's dad or Isan's dad or Maurice's dad because these are the I was around. Jeremy's dad. So, so I pieced it together and I was like, all right, cool, I'll be like this. So I was like I was real patient, everything. It was cool. But yeah, but for me that was real dread. And yeah, big up my wife because she very reluctantly, took on all the expenses in the household for that period of time. And when I say reluctantly, like fellas, just like try it for yourself, just come home and be like, yeah, I lost my job, so and you would see. But the only thing I feel that like carried me through is because when I was up, I was like up. So, I didn't really used to let her like spend money on because I'm that kind of person. If you like you going out with a girl or whatever, my mentality is like I have to pay. I'm an old school. I don't believe in all that equals. That is dotishness for me. I find that dotishness. I will never get in that old talk with nobody. If you like, okay, me and my wife more or less split bills and whatever, but I try to hold on the lion's share because that is just that's just how it is. I feel. Maybe not. Maybe
No, I mean
maybe
that is how men are made to feel.
yeah.
Basically, it's like what you're supposed to do.
I don't ever see anything wrong with that. I mean, I'm not saying you should spend out all your money, don't save anything, and meanwhile your wife has millions of dollars. And
Yeah,
that's
obviously.
dotish. But like let me say you're making more money than your wife, then she's supposed to be set, comfortable, boom, good to go. And that carried me through because being the extremely generous guy that I've always been. You could always look back, like when I had it, like you was good to go. Like no,
No, I don't have it.
I'm going through it, and she reluctantly took up that role, and made it happen. And here we all are. I have a next youth now, but my people is like catch their breath like you have a favorite son. Like being realistic. I know my big son longer than the little one. And the little one is like, I guess in a situation where, like, if you had to choose, you wouldn't know who to save out of the two. But, my big son is definitely, I could talk to him. I find he's, like, extremely interesting. Like, like kids will be babbling. And it's like, the fuck wouldn't this boy? Sometimes it does cross my mind. I'm like, why he wouldn't just shut up? But like that fades away quickly because I'd be like, you know what, Vaughn, this is you. And if you had a chance to harass your dad, you probably would too. So then I would start listening. I'm like, you know what, this guy is a little bit insane.
Interesting.
A little bit insane, but it's entertaining. Like the dotishness he's talking about, actually kind of like. What makes your mind work like this? You know what I mean?
Work like that, correct.
And the little one now, like I remember the last time I think I spoke about him was with Dominic. The little one was like a real pain in the ass because I feel like at that point in time, like I was, kind of going through it again, trying to juggle like different stuff and I have to like fit in, caregiving with him now because for different reasons, I took more care of my sons than my wife. The first one, she was working, so I was home. And even before that, like the way I worked was way more, flexible. I was kind of like my own boss, so like I would have I beat her record. I changed more Pampers. I, make more bottles of tea. I rock more boys to sleep. It's like, so that's me. And the little one, like. That was a next little kind of, I guess, rut, and I'm kind of, I guess, I want to say I've more or less overcome that. I wouldn't know. Let me just say I've overcome that. Like, I'm on my way back up, Count of Monte Cristo time. Yeah. And
your days are numbered, people.
Yeah. Shout out to all the ups that
Shout out to you people.
Because I hate y'all so much, I just, pushed through I took every single loss. I had to hold that pain because I just, like, if I ever give up, then, or you'll be raving or you'll be drinking Hennessy and like, yeah, your mother can't watch him now. And like, nah, I can't.
Not
I'm
going
back.
through that.
Yeah, I'm back. And like, I feel like I want to do it in like a big way, like long time, like because if you know me from like long time and thing, like the dates on my Instagram and thing, like I used to be real. I want to resurrect like I used to be real balling, you know, and
Probably picture you and the promo girls, like right here.
no. That is suffering. I was like, whoa, I was real. I honestly look like I sprung in that picture. That is Vaughn at 140 something pounds. Like,
Put it up anyway for context.
I'll put it up, man. I'll put it up. That was sprung in Vaughn. And like people, like, I remember putting up that picture and people was getting their Jones and thing over. It case maybe one person in particular, Crystal, and she's so fast because when you look at her old pictures, like I put up my old pictures, she was a more stronger than me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I just had to shout her out there because I have a podcast and she doesn't. So, you know,
Do ever argue with a man with a microphone?
yeah, and I'm a Crystal McGill. I'm a real soldier. But yeah, she was sprang a long time. And so yeah, and coming out of that now, it's like it's just a relief that you could, you know, you don't have to worry. Like I used to, the anxiety, everything. I would literally just be awake in the night, everybody sleeping, and I just like looking outside, like how I gonna pull this off, but I had to make it happen. I had to pull a rabbit out of a hat. I have to escape this chateau diff. I have to get, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I feel like I'm pulling it off. So, you know, soon you'll get all those cameras and all that bullshit everybody is always fucking about.
Yes, did that.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you know, you show love and mean love. And it's always good to have real ones. I've learned through life, it's a lot better to have like a very small number of real ones. Because you could just focus your good intentions, you know what I mean? As opposed to like, and it's nice to go through things so you actually know, like you have nothing, and these are people like, hey Vaughn, you know, you have a position here, you want to work here part-time, and you know, so like you have your little struggles and some people like pull you out. So that's big. And for me, like very memorable. But that COVID rail rock, and again, like I said, I used to think about it a lot. I wouldn't talk to people about it because honestly, if I'm being fair, I don't feel like it was like that serious. You know what I mean? I literally just used to watch the moon and wait, I had to do so. I remember I called this girl like a real good friend because that's like somebody and she know me good enough so I could afford to be, you know, that humble and thing. I was like, hey girl, you don't know anywhere hiring or this or that. And I think she had a link with JTA in Couva. It's like you don't think they're hiring anybody in JTA, you know what I mean? So she's like, well, and she know Raven Vaughn, you know, buying case of champagne, and so she's like, well, I don't know what you mean. Like, I think I have probably. I mean, I know there's always what people tell like pack shelf and thing, but I know you know. I was like, Gil, I mean, like see what you could do.
Anything.
You know what I mean? See what you could do. I don't mind. Like it's just to, you know what I mean, just to get a little dust and you know get something on the go. You know what I mean? Because I'm that confident in my hustle. Like I could literally do anything. If Patrick give me a little blind in the market, bro, I will make it properly happen.
Do something in the market.
You know, you dig, but he did touch on a good point. You'll feel like you'll get horror. It's like, wait, boy, this man went prayers and you know thing and what your mother can't now, you know that kind of vibes. But shout out Charlie because
but you will do what you had to do.
Yeah. I would and I called Charlie and I told her if she had pulled that, I mean I do think she was able to at the time, but if she had pulled that link, I would have seen me packing groceries in JTA and Couva, and nothing wrong with that because like it doesn't matter. It could take 5, 10, 15 years, I'm going to get out of the chateau there,
own GTA.
and I'm going.
After I
I'll
start
be back.
packing the shelves.
Yeah, I'll be back on my bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like little people like that. Like, and I never forget that. And she didn't even do anything, but I was just like able to comfortably talk to her, like, yeah, like a real going through it. And you can't just be like that with anybody, especially not most girls.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah. So that was me. That was like real rough for me. COVID was really, even to this day, I mean, as confident as I am in my skill set, like you still have that anxiety. Like, boy, do I want to dedicate myself to doing this next thing, you know, all this goes to shit.
Goes away.
Yeah, but yeah, that was that.
I actually have an opposite story of that. Like I had somebody who reached out to a link, and they're like, "You have anything?" Because things, and like, well, we have like a entry level like admin position, but I mean, I feel like that would be an insult. So, nah, we're not gonna hire him. Like, oh, as an insult to like my male ego is not having a job at all. You fucking asshole.
No,
What you
remember
want me to
it
do?
was,
Answer phones?
no, remember it was kind of like that,
File things. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
overqualified for a kiss my ass job. And
Just,
yes,
give me
I
the-
will probably take your job afterwards because
Eventually.
you'll realize. But foot in the door, yeah, nah. And that was the reason given is like, nah, well, this will be an insult to him because he overqualified. Like, yeah, well, I have no work right now. But
you know what I mean? It's literally better than what I have now, which is nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's not
And so,
even an opposite story.
like
because-
come to think of it, come to Musty Christopher.
Yeah.
I remember.
And yeah. So whoever you are, Mr. Interview Guy, like you
It
are.
wasn't even an interview. It was just a, what about this? And like, nah, you wouldn't want that. Like, I might
All right.
if nothing is the other option. I might, but can't
count
complain with where I am now.
Count your days, mystery man. Count your days.
Nah,
But,
I just gotta remember.
You know, we could bring this up into like different episodes, but I feel like you guys have gotten to know a pretty good amount about like
About your host,
a good overview.
an uncomfortable amount in at least one case.
Yeah.
But like you shouted out Mrs. Vaughn, Mrs. Eversley.
Eversley, yeah.
And so I feel it's only fair to shout out Mrs. Jelly so because yeah, she took up I mean, thank God for what did they call it? Essential workers. Thank goodness for essential workers at the time because she was deemed essential. And yeah, we had just bought a house.
You know, come to think of it, yeah, it's like it was kind of lucky. My wife was a essential worker and all too, you know.
Yeah, because if they didn't have that, I mean, me and you would just be fighting men on the street for a literal corner. And yeah,
Fight club,
like,
yeah.
this is my corner to beg on, bro. What are you talking about? Like, no knives out.
There'd be like stick fighting down by the wharf. Like me and you, there'd be stick fighting down by the wharf for
Just
like
running things.
pennies.
Only.
Yeah.
Nah, it wouldn't be pennies anymore. Silver dollars is what we would be working with. And bottles of rum. But yeah, so she had to hold it on for quite a while until feet were gotten back under. And then on top of that, the whole, attempted suicide thing and all that shit, which is not easy to deal with.
I mean, I don't know, but I can imagine. And like if you ever meet Francis' wife, you'd never imagine like she has a care in the world because she's just so airy all the time. Like, hey, okay, guys.
She would love to hear you say that because she's not.
I
She does not feel like she
pulls
is
it.
either.
She really, for me, she really pulls it off. Like my wife is always moving like mad, bruv. Every thing, and she want to clean like she's stressed out my life. But like I know for sure, if she wasn't around, it'd be chaos because remember she's literally surrounded by 3 boys that are constantly making mess.
Right.
So I guess it's like maybe it's like a defense mechanism or something. I don't know.
Or maybe it's just balance.
Yeah, it's like balance. She's the yin, and she definitely does pull it off. I could complain as much as I want, but it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work without our better halves. Definitely, for sure. So,
Correct.
shout out to
the wives.
Shout out to the leading ladies of the Laymans Project, because most likely the show would not be going on without them.
Sydney
For
not
sure.
in this house. If I'd call and say, yeah, we need to record home, and she's like, what?
What?
No.
way.
Well, we'll be in the road.
And like
Terrible audio.
I mean,
just
like
dogs barking.
maybe one of these days we'll do an episode by me, but I think my wife would have to be out of the country because like my boys are, well, one is a little bit younger than yours, but the other one, he's uncontrollable. So he just waddle out, throw down everything.
No, that'll make for good recording. No, you remember that BBC segment?
He's going to destroy my phone. Remember, he's gonna
right, because
Yeah.
he's the one who broke
well,
the original tripod.
Yeah, he's the one who broke the. And Franz is looking at me incredulously, like, right? He's the one. But
The one piece of equipment I contributed to this
he
podcast.
literally, listen,
Vaughn break it.
he literally does stuff like, if you see, did you see the condition of the studio case? You pack it away, and 100 times be like, hey, don't touch that. That's how I need to record some of our interactions, because like, hey, don't touch that, and he like freeze. He does this thing where he's like, okay,
And he move like a cattle.
it's like a stare. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like a stare down. That is what he does. He threw down like my other laptop the other day. So the work laptop, I'd be just like terrified to leave that anywhere within arm's length, because the day is going to come and I'll be like, hey, Franz, I have some really terrible news. I lost some content. You know what I mean? And that just, has me sick when I see this boy moving through the house looking for something to fuck up, That's what he does. He gets up and just looks for, but
Just chooses violence.
but he's definitely also my little dude now. I don't know. I've gotten to like really, because I feel like he understands what's the real scene and thing now. Like not to like jazz me so much. He will still do it, but like he will calm down. He'd be like,
Well, he figured it out.
yeah.
Like, they push boundaries until they realize where the line is, and then it's like,
I feel like I just
I've not
became
crossed that
less
so often.
stressed by him, and he's just reacting to that energy because, he would just be moving through, and then he'd get fed up fucking up things, and he would just come for a hug up or a lift up, and I don't know. I just find that so cool. Like when he does that, you know what I mean? Like, for example, if you see like animals interacting like that, like little lion cubs, and they, reaching out for their mom, or like a bear or something, you'd be like, wow, that's so, cool. But, kids are like that too. So all you people that, into domestic abuse, like, that's weird, man.
went real
Yeah, right.
a hard left turn.
Yeah,
there,
because
boy.
I feel like we didn't talk about that
Yeah,
enough
maybe
for the
don't-
last episode.
Maybe don't abuse anybody at all,
Yeah, not just kids. But kids,
but especially not kids.
I can't understand that for the life of me. Like,
No, me neither.
they're just like little people that just need you, So
Nah, that will honestly just rile me up if we go down that road.
better we don't do that, because
Better we don't.
we're gonna end on like a cool note. Franz is probably going to have one last sip of El Dorado after I leave. But this has been
my sip here.
your 1 to 2 episode with the guys of the Laymans Project.
Yeah, no guestesses tonight.
No
just
guesses.
just the layman's.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us once again for another episode of the Laymans Project, and we will see you all really soon.
And let us know in the comments if you want to do another me and Vaughn just riffing episode, because there's a first. So
yeah. And also
let us know how this works.
and let us know little ideas y'all might have, like what y'all would like to,
Yeah, if you want our opinion
if
on
y'all would like to
something,
see us, attend an
Spar.
event, or Maybe not so much that, but but yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Because like I really I wanna do like not so much what we wanna do, but more what you guys wanna
Yeah,
do.
that'll be
that'd be
fun.
cool. Not only what y'all want to do, but we definitely schedule y'all in.
And then like and share and
You
of
know
course
the drill.
subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe, comment. I noticed that y'all don't really share
Bell button.
as much, except for you, Shay, because you always,
I
share
see
stuff.
the people who share and big y'all up. Every
Like
time I
who's
share
soul
something.
friends?
Nazi and Mark and
Mark, yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
That is facts. Cheese.
Cheese, Devon.
Yeah.
No, plenty of people to share, you know.
No, yeah. That's facts.
Yeah, so
But the rest of you,
the rest of you don't, I mean, of course.
Yeah,
but I mean,
yeah,
big
yeah.
up the people who do.
big up the people who do
How
share.
they make hearts.
And,
how I don't know how young people just make hearts now.
Well, remember, Samuel was showing us
Right,
this.
yeah, that's
thank
one.
you.
Yeah, big up.
Yeah.
Like love. It's one love.
Love in the house. Show love and mean love, guys. So,
And
thank
rum
you.
done, so
Once
friend done.
again, we will see you all next time on the Laymans Project.
Perhaps with a guest. Deuces.